Alright guys, what's going on? Nathan here today with Midwest Outdoor Experience. I'm coming at you today guys with a new video on how I like to manage my big buck pictures I get through the summer and through the fall and try to organize my hit listers. Guys, this is relatively new to me. I can't speak of how long they've been around, but I just discovered this less than 2 weeks ago and I am absolutely amused by this information that this website gives. So what you're going to want to do, if you want to try this out, is you're going to want to hit join now, and it'll redirect you, and you'll type in your first name, last name, where you're from, email, yada yada yada, agree to terms, and hit save. Okay, and then from there, you will log in. And when you do log in, go ahead and type in your credentials and hit login, and it will redirect you to a page like this. So once you get far enough along, I guess we'll start this in the same order I did it. I set up my properties. So once you click properties, you can hit add to add a property, and you can name it whatever, and you find it on Google Earth, and that's how you, and then you just click where your property's at and drop the mouse, zoom it out from wherever, and hit save. And then that'll be your property. And then you can go back to weather and select the place you just clicked on the map, and it'll give you your current temperature, highs and lows for the day, what the wind's doing, sunrise, sunset, the barometric pressure forecast, the weekly temperature forecast, and just a couple day weekly forecast as well. But you can also click in the hourly and get a 48 hourly summary that tells you temperature, precip, wind, and pressure, a summary of what's going on out there. So pretty neat, just generic weather, another place to get weather from of all the places there are. Okay, now to get into this. So basically, Hunt Stand is a website that takes deer pictures, and it pretty much takes the timestamp of the deer picture and collects all the data, the time of day, the wind speed, the wind direction, the temperature, the pressure, and it takes all of that information and puts it all to the side. And so what you can do is, so say you come over here to Hitlist, and so these are the two deer on my hit list so far this year. And if you want to add a new deer, you come up here and hit add, and you'd name him, write something about him, rank him, and say if he's alive. You can say alive, missing, harvested, or killed, and what property he's on. And then you can choose a profile picture for him if you want to. And then hit save, and you have a hit lister. You go back, and you can go to your hit lister. So this pretty much will say it all right here. You can view the actual deer, or it tells you how many photos you have of him currently from this year, or total, if he's alive, where he's at, and then how to do it. So now when I upload pictures of these hit listers, this is how I do it. I go into upload, and then you say what camera he's on, and I'll get to cameras here in a minute, but then you just pick a camera, and you choose the files. So if I had my SD card plugged in right now, I had pictures from just years past that I've used information from. But you'd go to your SD card and click the pictures you want to upload, and then you'd hit open, and it would open them in here, and then you'd hit upload. And then it would take all of those pictures and all the timestamps, and you'd be able to, and it would get all the data, be able to click view, and you can come in here, and it kind of tells you which trail cameras he's been at the most, and you can put in how many times you've seen him, where he's from, what his status is, when you last seen him, kind of all neat. So then you get into this, you click habits, and habits will tell you his most active time of day, his most active wind directions, wind speeds, most active temperature, active moon phases, weather, barometric pressure. So this is all super, super helpful, and it also gives you a summary. The best conditions to hunt Stumpy is on a cloudy day with a southeast wind from Josh's food plot camera, which is near our stand right over there. And he is most active on a dark moon phase in the morning. So with that information, if the stars align and I get those conditions, I should be uh, pretty feeling pretty good if I have all of that going for me. That maybe the stars will align and maybe I'll get actually to have um, a sighting of Stumpy. But when you're out there looking for that big deer that you have on your hit list, it's always you never know if it's going to happen or not. But we'll take every chance we can help to get in our favor. So the next thing I want to show and talk about is called heat map. So you can zoom in here on and this will highlight where your photos have been mostly uploaded from. So he's been seen up on this end of the farm and down on this end of the farm, but this end much, much more than down here. I think I've seen him twice down here and the rest of the times up here. Um, but then this is just him, and then it'll say the cameras. You can click on camera summary, and that'll tell you the actual numbers. Don't have a whole lot of pictures of him so far this year, but he is around, so I'm just hoping I hold on to him. Hopefully, when the food plots go in, that he just decides to stick around at the end of summer, and he doesn't go nowhere, because he's definitely my number one hit lister buck. And then you can see activity, like actually written out activity, where he was, time and date, temperature, wind direction, speed, pressure. Looks like he's really liking that pressure to be above 30 other than one time. The moon phase, humidity. I think this is just a really great tool to just kind of see everything and analyze, to try to pinpoint where you might run into him when you're in the woods. And then you can click on images and see your pictures of him. So that's kind of cool. Now back on hit list real fast. So I mentioned you can put in missing deer and harvest deer. So I put in 2 deer so far that were missing so far from last year. I got photos from them all from last year. And I have not seen them yet this year, or have not been able to identify them. So, but this guy is definitely very easy to identify. And the kicker buck, I just haven't seen him either. But then you can also do harvested. I put in my 2 deer. This is my bow deer. This is my rifle deer. Said a little bit about them and put up some photos. And I thought this would be fun to do, just to see how accurate it is, because I clearly killed both of these deer. And so I viewed the information, and I went to the habits, and it says the best conditions to hunt the hunk is on a clear day with a wind. On the bottom stealth cam, and he is most active on a full moon. Phase. So pretty dang accurate. If you see this pie chart, I actually killed him on a south wind. He is most active on a south, southwest, and a northwest, with a moderate wind speed, which I had. The temperature was 72 degrees that day, so that was a check in that box. The moon was actually a quarter, so that was just that time. And then the weather was clear, and the barometric pressure was less than 30, which follows that chart. So I think this does a pretty awesome job, and it actually says there's another box on the front that says he's most visible at night, and he actually came out 10 minutes before dark, so it was just in time to get a shot off at him. So that was kind of neat. You can go to your image library and see all the deer photos you have uploaded, and it just tells you whatever you want to know about deer, of exactly what the wind was or temperature was. It pretty much takes everything from the timestamp and puts it in some, because there's barometric pressure on some of these pictures, on all of these pictures, I should say. And so you can edit your date and time. So say you upload a picture that doesn't have a timestamp on it, you can come in here and adjust the date and the time, and it will take the new date and time and go to the history of what the weather was at that date and time, and it will automatically pull it up and put it in there for you. So that's kind of neat. One last thing I want to kind of talk about. I was just messing with this morning. I haven't really got to do much with it, but I thought this is so cool. And this will make a big difference whenever I get a deer or when I have actually way more pictures of deer. But so you come in here and you pick your hit lister that you want, and I start at the first one, okay? And right here, if you can see, there's a little orange dot. That was the camera. He was his first picture was taken back on August 30th, 2020. At least whenever I started recording him. And then I hit next and next and next, and I just kind of, and this draws out kind of his home range where he's bouncing from camera to camera. And what I think is really cool about this is it shows where he's been just over the course of time, and it puts it all in order. And I can tell you that this right here, that this deer is very much bouncing throughout our whole hunting property. And I think it's kind of cool and neat to just see how where he traveled, because it takes it from earliest to latest date and time. And you can follow along with that. And like I said, when you get a bunch more pictures, I'm sure you'll see this deer just continue to zigzag through. But, during the rut, it'll be fun to see where he bounces from, to and from, and how often he's wherever he may be, as long as he's alive. So I thought that was a really neat feature. You can do that with all the deer you have in there. And you just pick a starting point from when you want to see, and you just start hitting next. And then if you want to put a new one in, you hit start over. So this is just properties. This just tells you the properties you have entered here. You can add a new one. And I think that's pretty much all. Oh, cameras. Never mind. So this is really important. So putting in your cameras, to add a camera, you just come up here and hit add camera. You say which property it's on. You name it. Maybe write a description if you want to, and then go on the map and pick whatever you want to do for that. And for me, I already have all my cameras set in stone. So, then it writes it out here in list style, and it will document how many photos you have on each camera, and I think that's pretty neat. So let's just click on this one because I got 28 pictures up there, and it'll tell you this is kind of the same thing with a deer. So these are the most active times a day for that camera, and the most active wind directions. And you can just kind of look at this like how you can pattern deer. Maybe you don't want to go in to check a camera because you're worried about your scent in the wind or something. You can come up here and check, well, which wind are these deer moving on at the most. And maybe you'll want to come check on an east wind because there hasn't been any movement up there, because that's how I have it set. An east wind would be perfect to check that camera. So it's just little things that you can maybe use this to help pinpoint your hit listers. And guys, I just wanted to make a quick video for you guys and kind of show you this and give a little rundown. Again, I am not sponsored by Hunt Perfect. I have no relationship with them. I just think this is a really great website and a really great tool for anybody to use. I will say, when you first get it, it's free for 2 weeks, and after that it costs $50 a year. But if you're like me and you are just super into collecting data on these big deer, I know I'm going to have no problem paying $50 for the year. I've purchased much more silly stuff for $50, and I think I'm just on this all the time, and this is just going to be another tool I use to help pattern deer. So I think this can be a really big help. Guys, we're less than 2 months away from deer season. I'm getting super excited. I know Austin's going to have some more fishing videos coming out here shortly. We are in the dog days of summer here. We are getting real close to food plot season. So lots of fun and activities in the outdoors coming up. Guys, I just want to thank you for watching and checking this video out. I hope it's been helpful, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.